This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned.
My topic today is my 3 favorite lesbian movies. I'm going to tell you why I like them and why they're my favorite. And unfortunately, I only have 3 because there aren't too many lesbian movies that I actually consider good, unfortunately, which they need to get on the bandwagon with that. They need to make some actually really good lesbian movies. So, yeah. So here we go. My 3rd favorite lesbian movie, it's called Loving Annabelle.
When Wilkie says your vast shell reaches into endless space, and there the rich, thick fluids rise and flow, what was he talking about?
I think he's talking about sex.
Annabelle, I'd like to speak with you. There's a strict dress code here. Buddhist prayer beads.
I told you I'm not taking them off.
You will wear this and add another one just like it for every day that you continue to wear those beads.
If Mother Immaculata told you to take this cross off, would you?
How's it going with Miss Bradley?
Nothing's going with Miss Bradley. Do I make you nervous?
All your fortresses go down and through. 'Cause I know that you know you're all over me now, and it's clear you're a show.
I can't take my students off campus.
You've had sex with a girl?
It's not that big a deal.
I can't do this.
We're not doing anything wrong.
The storm, I will shelter you all through the storm.
I got cold, so I had to put my jacket on. But the movie Loving Annabelle, it's about this girl named Annabelle, and she recently comes to this boarding school. It's a Catholic boarding school, and she really doesn't know anybody there, and she's basically the outcast. She's the girl that's known as getting in trouble. It's basically, she goes to this school because she has like one more chance to get her attitude straight, and I think her attitude comes from her maturity. It's a lot of it comes from her maturity, and it comes from her not understanding people her age. And so the one person I think she feels like she can relate to in the film is her teacher. And her teacher has a secret. Her teacher she's gay too. And so basically throughout the movie, Annabelle and this teacher, they develop this really strong emotional connection with one another. And we find out a lot of secrets about these 2 characters. And I really liked this movie because, for one, I could relate to Annabelle growing up in a Catholic school because I grew up in a Catholic school as well. So I understand all the rules and regulations and the teachers and having to wear a uniform and having to study religion, and totally fine with that. But, you know, I understand that. And I understand that you're not brought up around gays. That topic's never even brought up. So that's hard. So I understand. And I could relate to that. And another thing I could relate to is just their connection. You know, I understood that connection. I liked the film because it was bittersweet. You know, it was a sweet movie. It was really entertaining just to watch because I felt like all the characters were 3-dimensional. You know, they had a lot of backstory to them. The story had amazing dialogue. It was just really relatable. And it was, like I said, it's a really sweet movie. You just through the whole thing, you're just kind of going, oh. So I highly recommend you watch Loving Annabelle. It's a really entertaining story. The ending's not my favorite, but I don't want to spoil that. I do highly recommend you watch it though, because it's just really a sweet movie. It's a really well done film overall. So you should watch it. My 2nd favorite lesbian movie, it's called Kissing Jessica Steen.
Hi, I'm Charles.
Hi, Jessica.
Skies blue.
So, Charles, what about you?
I don't know, I do okay. Actually, I just met somebody pretty special.
Oh,
Her name's Michelle, and it's early, but,
I thought you were single.
is this supposed to be a setup?
When she walks.
Jessica Stein thought she'd run out of options.
I go out with a lot of girls. A lot.
We split the salad, but I think ate a little bit more.
Sorry, I'm so late.
You are right on time.
Until she realized
Oh, that's women seeking women.
there was one more thing to consider.
Whenever I thought about lesbianism in the past, I've always said ew. You know, just ew.
She is trying new things.
Who's the guy?
There's no guy. I'm gonna have to go slow, okay? Oh, okay.
You're a terrible liar.
Trust me. There's no guy.
Now,
She's just working out some residual anger from college.
between the man who's perfectly impossible
You guys went to college together?
We dated for a year.
Is everything okay? You don't seem like yourself lately.
You don't either.
and the woman who's possibly perfect,
If we keep going like this, we'll get there in 2 weeks or so. There's no real rush. How about 10 days? 10 days is better.
she's losing her mind
It's not me. It's not me. Do you find me disgusting? No!
Oh my God, are you kidding? I'm impressed.
to find her heart.
She's a girl, you know? She has thin arms.
I don't know what she sees in her.
Mother.
She's flight tested.
I kissed a girl.
Oh my God.
Fox Searchlight Pictures presents the movie the Los Angeles Times calls outstanding, romantic comedy at its sharpest and most sophisticated.
What is it about two women you find so exciting?
The way they touch.
Really? How do they touch?
What I'm wondering right about now is, do you want to have dinner with me tomorrow night?
Everyone wants to be kissing Jessica Stein.
What does your therapist say about all this? Oh, I could never tell my therapist. Why not? Because it's private.
Kissing Jessica Stein is about this girl named Jessica. She's recently just kind of gotten over men. Like, she's dated all these men, and she just doesn't see any connection with them anymore. I don't think she feels anything for them anymore. So she's just sort of given up. And right around the time she gives up, she meets this girl who just kind of changes her perspective on life in general. And they end up falling for one another, and they develop this relationship. And basically, the entire movie is really about really a lesbian relationship in a whole. Like, basically, they get together, they date, you watch them go on dates, you watch them become this couple, you watch them come out to their parents, you watch them live with each other, you watch everything that they go through together. I really enjoyed the film because it was a very realistic depiction of lesbians. And it was also really funny. Like, a lot of the movies I've watched that have to do with lesbianism, or just gays in general, to be honest, they're really not that funny. And the dialogue is really just not good, and the writing overall is terrible. And I felt with this film, it was really wonderfully constructed. It was just really funny. It was hilarious. This was actually a movie I was just looking through my movies one night on Netflix, and this movie popped up. And I had always seen the cover at, like, Blockbuster and things like that. And I was like, I'm curious about this movie. So I went and I watched it. I read the synopsis, and I was like, it's about two lesbians. Interesting. So I watched it. And I was very highly pleased with this movie. Like, it was really well done. The only thing I'll say about this movie, negatively, is I was not crazy about the end. I felt like they worked up this entire film, and then they completely went a different way with it. But the way they went with the film was very realistic. I felt it was very realistic. I'm not going to spoil that either, just in case you haven't seen it. The way they went at the end, after the two girls were a couple, and they came out to their parents, and they were really serious, and they were living together, the ending sort of went a different direction. But it makes sense if you actually watch the movie. It makes sense the way it ended, and it makes sense that Jessica... The thing about this movie is that it wasn't about lesbianism. It was and it wasn't. It was more about Jessica's journey. Her trying to find herself, what works best for her. So I really respected the film, and I respected the way it went. And it was really, like I said, it was just really funny. So even if you're not gay, I highly recommend you watch this one. It's pretty funny. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. Alright, are you ready for my first and foremost favorite lesbian movie of all time? Okay, I wouldn't say of all time, this is just so far. But anyway, Are you ready? Drum roll. And the film is called Room in Rome.
This is my last night in Rome.
Mine too. Sorry, what was your name?
It's Natasha.
Sha.
Sha. Shh. I think it'll work better if you undress me.
I'm going to give you the best orgasm of your life. Are you ready?
Yes.
I know plenty who once they've tried with a woman never want to go back to me.
Is that how you became lesbian?
This is how I became a woman.
Alba, I haven't been honest with you.
You owe me.
The truth or a lie?
I don't get it.
I'm getting married next Sunday. Tonight we had a fight and I went off on my own.
So I met you thanks to an argument. Your eyes, your smile, stunning body.
Do you love me? Right now, yes. Would you leave to live with me?
This is real, Natasha, not a fantasy.
I'm scared because I know what I'm seeing and feeling. Keep it forever between the two of us, so it never fades. We stay here, okay? In this room.
But since we're here, let's have some fun.
Yeah, try saying that 3 times fast. Room in Rome, room in Rome, room in Rome. Yeah, it's not an easy one to say. Anyway, I get made fun of for liking this movie a lot, but I like to say this is my guilty pleasure film that I watch because I honestly just love it. And, you know, everyone has their own guilty pleasures when it comes to film, so, or TV, you know, whatever you like. So this is mine. I really like this movie for a lot of reasons. The story is about 2 girls. They meet one night and they decide to go to the hotel room of one of the girls. There's 2 of them, and they go to the hotel room of one of the girls, and they basically plan on hooking up. It doesn't work out, so the girl that's curious leaves, and the lesbian stays there. But she ends up leaving her phone, so she comes back. And so basically the entire movie takes place in that one room, and the girls intimately hook up. And basically you get to know the characters really well throughout the movie. It's kind of funny though, because in the beginning of the movie they lie to each other a lot about who they are, and you really don't find out much about the characters until like the middle of the movie. You find out, you know, really who they are in real life and why they're there and what brought them to the same place that one night. But I like the film because Peter's about to die. I liked this movie because it took place in one room. Because it was a really realistic depiction of 2 girls who decide to hook up one night, but they end up liking each other and developing feelings for one another. I thought it was really well done. It was realistic, because if you met somebody and y'all decided to go to a hotel room, would you honestly tell someone who you really are? If you were in a foreign country, if you were in a different place than where you usually are, and you're just visiting, and you're just planning on having a one-night stand, do you typically tell your one-night stand who you really are? So I thought the film was very realistic in that sense. You know, I felt like it was very realistic. But then the girls begin to tell each other who they really are. So I really like the idea of that. The music was phenomenal in this movie. The music was amazing in this movie. I actually just am tempted to buy the soundtrack. I've actually downloaded a couple of songs from the movie as it is, but it's a good soundtrack. I would say view this film as more of an artwork than an actual movie. And I say that because this film really is just the way it's put together, the way the shots are angled, the way the music plays, the way the actresses are acting, just it seems like it's a piece of artwork that you would watch in a museum or something. A lot of these scenes have metaphorical themes behind them, and I really like that idea. And I really like the idea of just the film in general. And I would be lying if I said that I didn't like the idea of two naked girls. I mean, come on, let's be real. And the thing is about this movie is I love foreign films. I really, really love foreign films. And this movie takes place in Rome. So I love the idea of that. I feel like I'm traveling without having to go on a plane. I feel like I could just sit on my couch and feel like I'm in Rome. The only thing is that this movie does take place in one room. It takes place in the hotel room, so you only get to see Rome from one perspective, out the window. So you get to see that, and that's pretty much it. That's all of Rome you really get to see. But even with that, I still felt like with the girls' strong accents and just the film overall, I felt like I was visiting Rome, and I really enjoyed the movie. I really felt like the character development was realistic, and the girls really just had amazing chemistry. It was phenomenal. So I really appreciated the movie for what it was, and it was just really well done. What else was I gonna say? I can't remember now. Let's see. This was actually one I found on Netflix as well. I was just on Netflix one night and it popped up, and I was like, maybe I'll watch it and see what it's about. But it's a really well done movie. Some of the scenes are a little overdramatic, a little bit over the top, but like I said, this is totally my guilty pleasure movie. So I appreciate the film for what it is, and I'm not gonna lie, Natasha Yaravenko is my new crush. Like, she's so beautiful, so phenomenally gorgeous. She's Russian. Oh my gosh. So even if you don't like the movie, you'll appreciate the actresses in the film for sure. So I highly recommend you watch this one. I really hope you all have an amazing night, and thank you for letting me share my favorite movies with you. If you have favorites, feel free to comment and tell me yours. And please remember to subscribe to my channel. Alright guys, thanks.